Alright, this is Vegeta8259, and today I'm going to be doing a new chapter in my series of shameless Gundam Wing fanboyism. I'm going to be reviewing the 1/100 scale high-grade Gundam Epyon. And here we've got Epyon in its mobile armor mode, which kind of vaguely resembles a two-headed dragon. It's actually hard to get in the camera frame. Let me back up. Alright, there we go. Now if I just get the camera to focus. Alright. So this is Epyon's equivalent to Wing Zero's Neo Bird mode. And basically just used for transportation over long distances. And in this mode you actually get a couple of accessories. You get two clear green parts that are pretty much the same exact ones that come with the 1/100 scale Wing Gundam and Wing Zero kits, only the pegs are slightly different, and they just clip on to Epyon's wings, so you've got kind of some effect parts that look okay, I guess. If you ask me, I don't really use them. So anyway, this is the mobile armor mode. To transform it, you just have to take off the shield and heat rod, and then you'll want to flip the legs back into place and then swing them out, and then the back skirts close up. You want to straighten the legs out and unfold the feet. Then straighten the wings out as well. The arms come back to their neutral position. These little claws flip down. Then you'll put the hands back in the wrist joints. There we go. And finally, you'll rotate the head back around. And there we go. And this is Epyon in mobile suit mode. Now, I have painted this kit, but I went with the normal color scheme, so the colors that you get straight out of the box are going to be pretty similar to this. You'll get this burgundy red color. You'll get it kind of looks like black, but it's actually a really dark blue in the plastic, but I painted it black. And you'll get gold parts, but I've painted those yellow, just so Epyon will match all my other Gundam Wing kits. And then you'll get light gray for the hands, the thighs, and the thrusters on the back, and a couple other things. Oh, and you also get two white parts for the chest and the face. For stickers, you get this nice clear green jewel sticker for the chest, and you also get a sticker for the eyes, 4 black stickers for the shoulders, and then a large red sticker which goes on this white piece of the chest. And there are no decals. All of the little white decals that you see on here I confiscated from master grades that had leftover decals. So for articulation, as you saw already, the head can go 360. It's on a ball joint, so it can go up and down and left and right. The arms can go 360 as well. They're on a peg. They can go out about that far. You've got double jointed polycap elbows, so they can bend about 90 degrees and then rotate at the elbow. As you saw earlier, these claws can go up and down. It's got old style high-grade hands, so the wrist is on a ball joint. They can rotate and wiggle. The thumb doesn't move, but the fingers move, with the index finger being separate from the other 3. The wings on the backpack can go flat against the back, and they can go out about that far, and they can rotate. They can go up that far, and they can go down that far. The thrusters on the backpack don't move. The back skirts move in and out, but that's really more for the transformation. There is rotation at the waist. Epyon can go 360, but because of his bulky torso, you'll want to kind of be careful with that. The side skirts are on a peg. They can go up and down and rotate slightly. Front skirts are on a ball joint, so they can come up and in and out and wiggle a little bit. The hips are on a ball joint, so the legs can go forward and back, and they can only go out about that far. The knees are double jointed. However, you only get about that much range of motion out of them. That's just the drawback of these earlier model kits. This kit came out in 95 or 96. Anyway, there's also a point of articulation at the middle section of the lower leg, but it's not really useful for anything. It just kind of rotates and rocks back and forth a little bit. The ankles are on a ball joint, so they can go up and down, side to side, rotate just a little bit, and then the feet have a single joint where they can bend down, and they can bend up just a little bit. So, that is it for Epyon's articulation. Now on to weapons. As you saw earlier in mobile armor mode, Epyon has a small shield, but it's not really made for defense. It's made for this heat rod, which the 1:144 scale, the heat rod was kind of a letdown because it was only made in like 3 pieces, but on the high grade, each segment is jointed, so that was a very, very nice touch on Bandai's part. And it has a hole right here, which clips onto a peg in on the arm. So, now we move on to Epyon's, well, I don't know, I was about to say Epyon's main weapon, but he's famous for pretty much both of them, Epyon's beam sword. Now, when Epyon is not using the beam sword, it can be mounted right here on the side skirt, like so. And when it's in use, you get a nice plastic pipe that you'll connect one end to the beam sword hilt and the other end into the power supply. Because, unlike a normal beam saber, Epyon's beam sword is powered by his internal generator, so it's much more powerful than a normal beam saber. Now here is the small beam for the beam sword, and oddly enough it's exactly the same as the beam you get for Death Scythe's shield. So you've got that smaller beam, and then you get this very large clear green blade for the beam sword, which is the one that you see most often in the show. And Epyon holds it pretty well. Luckily, you can usually wedge the beam sword between the 2 little yellow claws on Epyon's arms, and it keeps it pretty stable. Although sometimes this pipe kind of makes it hard for Epyon to hold it very well, but if you mess with it long enough, you'll get a pretty good pose out of it. Anyway, there we go. Alright, so yeah, very large beam sword in clear green, so that's always a nice touch. And that about does it for Epyon's weapons. He only has these 2 weapons because Epyon was created by Treize Kushinada with his ideal of battle in mind, which is hand-to-hand combat between 2 people. So there are no long-range weapons at all. No beam rifles, not even any head Vulcans on the forehead. Just hand-to-hand close combat weapons. So that's what Epyon was meant for. But overall, I think it's a really nice kit. Despite only having 2 weapons, they are very, very nice weapons. It looks really good. It looks very accurate to the show. My only complaint about this kit is the back skirts I don't have any problems with. It's this function of the hip joint where it transforms and this has to swing up. This will probably get on your nerves after a little while. I know it did for me. But with that, I'll just end with a quick size comparison to RX-78. So as you can see, they're about the same size, Epyon's wings making him a little bit taller. So I guess that's about it for this review, and I will see you guys next time.